Hello and welcome back to the Making Fire podcast. This is a podcast where two longtime besties talk about their favorite TV show, Survivor. Except this week, not really, but sort of, kind of. We are doing a little TV recap moment. But before we get into that, before we break down what this episode is going to look like, Maddie, I have to ask, how are you doing today?
Thank you for asking how I'm doing today. You know, no one ever asked me that. I'm kidding. I
ask you it at least once a week, babe.
Yeah. This week, because we're talking about so much TV, and before we really get into the fall television season, I have been so locked in on my reading lately. I have read literally 2 full books just since the last time we talked, plus I finished another that I had already started. And I'm just sort of taking this time to catch up on my TBR, my to be read list. And so I thought I'd talk about a couple of them today. First of all, I finished what I think is the longest book I have ever read. My copy is not the longest version because I have the big one dimensionally. But I believe mass market paperback print is about over 1,400 pages. And that's going to be The Fiery Cross, the 5th book in the Outlander series. She is
gag on that, honey.
Thick. This copy is 979 pages, and it is massive. And I just had to talk about this one first. Well, this is the one that I finished. It took me a month to read. It is just like so many books long, like of a normal book. It makes every book after this feel like short. But unfortunately, it was the longest Outlander book of the entire series. And it is also my least favorite so far. I really felt those 979 pages.
Got it.
But what was interesting is other people's part that they complained about the most was maybe my favorite part of the whole book. Or maybe not my favorite part, but one of my favorite parts. It was still a good book. But I'm just, like, so glad to have that off my chest. And I've just been so motivated to read so many other things. So, the next book I read this week... and this one's my own fault for my expectations falling flat. I read Lapvona by Otessa Moshfegh. I don't know how to say her last name. Right. She is probably one of her most famous books is My Year of Rest and Relaxation. She is the author of that. And this book, Lapvona, it takes place in sort of medieval Europe, and it follows the main character, I would say, is this little sort of shepherd boy who's had a really awful life. And this book, I love anything medieval. So I was excited about it, and I've heard the craziest reviews for a book maybe ever. Like, if you're bored, go read the Goodreads reviews on this because it's crazy. And so I had very high expectations, and I knew getting into it that this book was going to be sort of disturbing and gross and weird, and I was like kind of into that. And unfortunately it was all of those things, but I think the plot actually fell flat, and there wasn't really much of one. It sort of carried you through all of these things, unfortunately. So that is my take on that. It seems like people either love it or hate it. I think I didn't like it for different reasons than other people didn't like it, but that's whatever. My third
would you say that you're better than other people because you didn't like it for other reasons?
No, but I just think, I don't know, maybe because I read other things that also have a lot of crazy stuff happening in them. Maybe I'm a little bit more desensitized to some of the stuff in it, I think might be the problem. And then I don't know, I just thought it didn't have enough of a solid plot. Stringing things together.
Got it.
Storyline. But yeah, it was kind of fun. There are no redeemable characters in it. Every single person is sort of rotten in their own way. And I do sort of appreciate that. They are. But that leads me to my favorite book that I have read in actually a long time, my favorite fiction book. It is Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. Also, look at how cute this little edition is.
Oh, that's such a cute little book.
It's the Barnes & Noble one. This one I was so excited about. It takes place in the Puget Sound, where Riley and I went to a very, appropriately named college.
Right.
In Washington. And basically it's like this older woman who works at this aquarium, and sort of some things sort of unfold there that she learns about her family.
Is it like it's a mystery book?
No. I don't really know.
Heard that.
Basically, it kind of shifts perspectives between Tova, the main character woman, and then this other guy, Cameron, and then their sort of story becomes interconnected at the hands of an octopus, Marcellus. And so you get some chapters from the perspective of the octopus. And it's so good. I highly, highly recommend it. I read it in like 2 days. I could not put it down. And it was so fun. And it's so pretty. I love it. And that is my book reviews for right now. Now I'm reading this week, before all of my shows really start picking up, Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers. It's a fun, cozy murder mystery, getting back to my roots, probably my top 2 favorite genres of a fun little murder mystery. She owns a tea shop in San Francisco, and one of her customers is found dead. Thank you for sitting through my sort of book update, my book reviews. I've just nonstop been reading lately, and it's been a lot of fun. I'm taking a break from Outlander for the month. I'm not starting book 6 until October, and so it's been nice to just read all these things that I don't usually have. Yes, I don't usually have time for. And I wouldn't normally read Lapvona in between Outlander books because it's just a bit dark and heavy. And when I'm done reading one historical fiction, I don't really want to read another.
Right.
So, anyways, how are you?
I'm doing so swell. Thank you for asking. I do have to say, everybody, we all know I am in a new place of living. The new house I'm living in is much smaller than my last house. We're more confined. So if we're hearing noises, creatures, trade walking about, just let it be known that I do apologize. I also, the lighting choice where I put my desk, I didn't really think about how I was going to look on camera on my computer, and so I do, speaking of creatures, I do sort of have the light coming in from the window, and then I do have a light on me, and for some reason it was sort of fine for the hour Maddie and I were talking before the podcast, but now she's really wanting to flicker. I don't really know what that's about, but that's my tea. Spooky fall. We're getting in the moment. I was also going to talk about a book, but Maddie did sort of a little recap, and now I want to do a recap. I've only read one other book this month, and the book I'm currently reading. But I finished my physical TBR.
Really?
That's going to be a no for me, dog. That's my dog, Nashville, everybody. He's really excited about reading. He actually knows how to read. He just chooses not to because he's afraid he'll get put down if the people find out the truth.
Oh.
So he wants
to... And you would rat him out?
Well, I wouldn't, but he's afraid, the general public wouldn't. Oh. Anyways, so I finished my physical TBR, and I haven't bought a new book. I say in over a year, because technically with an asterisk next to it, because in March I did buy 2 new books, but they were pre-orders, and I read them as they came out, so it wasn't I bought them and they just sat on my shelf. I bought them with the intention that I was going to read them that month, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. But I haven't really bought, other than in March, which I honestly, it's been a long time, and so I read through all my physical books that I had not read, because I got kind of disgusted. Me too, Nashville. That was how I was feeling. I kind of got disgusted with the fact that with book talkers and book YouTubers who have hundreds of books that they have not read sitting on their bookshelf, and they just continue to buy more books, and then so in January they're buy new books for the new year with me, and then come April they're spring clean out, getting rid of unhauling a bunch of books, and then there's books on books that they never read, and I'm like, girl, why are we no, because that's how I feel. Why are we, the consumption was just giving me the ick. And so then I was
what happened to going to the library?
That's what I'm wondering.
As I did not go to the library for any of my recent books.
That's my problem, is I love owning a physical copy of a book, and that is I don't know if that's a red flag, maybe like a yellow flag, is that I will spend money on books because I like having my own sort of collection of things. I like being able to, oh my god, I love writing in a book. I love writing in a book. I love like eating with a book and like maybe a stain accidentally happens, like traveling with a book, getting it a little banged up. Like I just love traveling, eating. Me just repeating the things I just said. I just love, specifically, I love writing and annotating, sticky notes. I love doing that in a book. So having my own physical copy, and on top of that, I do love a hardcover. Oh!
And that's where we differ. I'm not a hardcover girl.
I love
I'm a
a
paperback.
hardcover. I love a hardcover. Anyways, we weren't planning on going to Dubs and Books, but I'll just bring up that I was telling Maddie about this last time we talked. I finished Women Seated by Zhang Yuran. And it was a very interesting book. I was trying to branch out. I haven't read a lot of fiction. Can you hear the dog? Sorry for the cut, y'all. I just know it's not a pleasurable experience to be a podcast listener with dogs barking, feral animals barking in the background. So, all I'm going to say is I took care of the problem.
Period. And you won't be hearing from them again.
And you won't be hearing them again. Moving on to the book that I did want to talk about that I think will lead into our conversation today is I'm in the middle of reading Q the Sun, The Invention of Reality TV by Emily Nussbaum. Reading this book right now. So interesting. Cool. I'm currently I just finished the first part. But it's just a book. It highlights different reality shows. I'll just go down. So I read the first part, which takes place from the 1947 to 1989. The chapter I just read was America's Funniest Home Videos, and Cops was sort of the coverage on that. Very interesting conversation about the clip show. But the next part is the rev up. So I'm just gonna read off some of the shows that it talks about: The Real World, The Nihilistic. I think that just Fox in general, the channel. Survivor, Survivor Borneo specifically, Big Brother, The Bachelor, Joe Millionaire, Bravo, The Apprentice, things of that nature. So I'm super excited. I'd highly recommend it. I just read the first part and I wasn't really sure. I had no, other than Cops and America's Funniest Home Videos, I had no reference point to the other shows they were talking about. I hadn't heard of the shows that are featured in the other 3 chapters. But very interesting. Specifically, An American Family. Have you ever heard of this TV show?
An American Family? An
American Family. It came out in I think it was the 60s or the 70s. It followed one family. It was like the start of like the familial, like, it followed a family and it documented their life, and the chapter was crazy. It was just like the backs and forth, like history of the show, and then it's like repercussions for reality TV in the long run, how it's sort of like the foundation for something like the Kardashians, or like kind of, you'd think like the Real Housewives and that sort. But very interesting. I'd highly recommend this book. You can see I'm only sort of a part way through it, but that's what I'm reading right now. So
wow, that sounds really interesting.
It is really interesting, and it's been a good reading month. I got to buy more books. I have one more book that I'm planning on reading this month, and now I get to like buy like the dopamine you get from buying a book. Oh my god! And now I get to like do it every month, which is actually like so exciting to me. So
I genuinely look forward to my monthly bookstore trip.
Right.
Like it keeps you going.
And
there's
now
nothing more fun.
Right, and now I have a better idea of what I'm capable of reading in a month. So I'm like, I'm not overbuying books. And now I've been reading so much this year that I just know what I want in a book. I know what I like. I'm not just buying things that have pretty covers. Like I know what I will read, you know?
Yes, and I feel like it's so fun and like motivating to like start another book when you finish a book and you're so excited about like getting to go buy this other book that like maybe you've been excited about it for a few weeks, or like it's been on your list for a while but you don't like have it and you've been thinking about it.
Right.
Like that is so much fun.
And now I can start like a TBR, like a list of books that I want to, because I wasn't doing that for the past couple months because I was like, I don't want to like excite myself over these books and I'm not going to be able to read for like 4 months. So
Yeah.
now I have a little list and I can make, I've been inspired by these. I don't know if you've seen this trend on TikTok of people making like curriculums for themselves.
Oh.
Have you seen this?
No.
People are like, put together my August curriculum. It started with this woman. She was like, I make curriculums for myself, and that's sort of how I like can keep learning about things I'm interested in, but I'm not in school. And she specifically, her thing for a while has been baking, and so she's been reading like cookbooks and like baking science books, and she's like, I just sort of tailor the things that I read in a month around my interest and what I want to learn. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I can do that too. I can like get books on topics that interest me. It's just so fun to like have control of the things you want to learn. So
So true. And not to be an Amazon person. However, I do highly recommend you get on Goodreads. Having your little like shelf of like books you want to read is so fun. And then being able to like follow your friends and like see their updates and like how they review books that they've read. It's so much fun.
Maybe that's what I'll do in the new, maybe I'll start 2026 and I'll get on Goodreads. Maybe that's been my problem for 2025, that I haven't been on Goodreads. Maybe that's the catalyst of everything that's been going wrong in my life.
Is you not being on Goodreads.
Yeah.
I will say it has made my life so much better. I love Goodreads.
I'll get into that, and I have a Goodreads account. I just never use it. I don't even remember what my account is called, so I have to log back in and figure that out.
I recommend. It's so much fun.
Well, let's get into that. You know what, guys? So this episode is going to be sort of a prototype possible, if we ever end up making a Patreon, maybe if we ever start a Patreon, we'll do like a monthly sort of book chat on there. That's a possibility. But for this week's episode, we are going to sort of do a reality TV / television and general recap, sort of the things that we're currently watching. Maddie and I often talk about other TV shows, throughout the weeks when we talk about our Survivor stuff, but this week we are in between our sort of heroes versus villains coverage and our Survivor 49 coverage. Next week we will be doing our 49 cast assessment. For those who don't know, Maddie and I avoid the Survivor cast at all costs before we do our cast assessment, so I'm assuming she as well as myself have no clue. We know nothing. We don't know names, we don't know faces, we don't know people, we haven't listened to interviews, so look forward to that next week. It'll be fun, basically getting our first impressions, which is really exciting, and look forward to our Survivor 49 coverage after that. But this week we're going to talk about some TV. We're just going to talk about things that are on our minds, have a silly little chat show. Maybe this is another thing we can look forward to having in the future if we ever sort of have a Patreon moment. We do a weekly little chit chat about other stuff.
Or even a bonus episode once in a while.
A bonus episode in a week. It could be silly. It could be fun.
Yeah.
This week, there are two specific reality TV moments that happened last week that I am desperate to talk about on here. Maddie, I think that's going to be a lot of this episode is sort of like giving context and then our thoughts, because Maddie and I do have different interests in what there's a lot of overlap, but different things going on. I guess I'll talk about Survivor, big news in Survivor the last week, specifically Survivor Australia, that we have our third 2-time winner, Parvati, which is so interesting. Watching Heroes versus Villains at the same time that Australia versus the World was airing was very interesting for me, because it's just seeing those two games back to back. Parvati in Australian Survivor referenced her Heroes versus Villains game a lot. She often was like, I felt robbed. I should have won my second title that season. But Parvati Shallow, 2-time Survivor winner, joins Sandra and Tony in the club. She beat Tony. Tony played this season, and she played a pretty flawless game. She was one vote away from a perfect game. She never once got a vote cast against her in the season, even though she was arguably the biggest target the whole season long. Yeah. She found an idol. She found another advantage. She won 2 individual immunities, maybe 3. I can't remember the top of my head, but she played a pretty perfect game. She said this in her final Tribal Council speech, that or maybe after the season, and they're like the final moments before the season ends, she had like a final confessional, and she was like, I think this was the best game I've ever played. And I think that is pretty much that's the consensus, is that the game that she played was the best. Better than fans versus favorites, better than heroes versus villains. It was a pretty great moment for her.
That's awesome. I'm so happy for her and that she had this moment. How many times has she played Survivor total?
This was her 5th time playing. Yeah, this was her 5th time playing Survivor.
Wow. And she said it's her last.
She
said
it's
Jeff
her last.
Couldn't offer her any amount of money for her to go back.
No, she is really sad. I haven't read her book, but apparently her thing in her book, she writes it to the Black Widow, like 2007 to 2025. For all the things that she's done. She was like, for all the things you've done for me, thank you. I
That's
know.
cute.
It is really cute. I got emotional, and a lot, and not to talk about other Australian Survivor players, but Shawnee, who is probably, you could argue, the face of Australian Survivor, most similarly probably the Parvati of that franchise. That was her 4th time playing, and if I could pick one Australian Survivor player to like be featured on US Survivor, it would be Shawnee. Shawnee's never won. I don't know if she has the title of best to ever win, similar to like a Sari. I just think she's a very iconic character. She's kind of sassy, kind of snarky. She always makes it. She's made it to the merge every single time she's played. She makes it pretty far every time. Iconic player. She is known for her red dress that she wears. That's sort of her like memorable fashion statement. And she said, "I'm hanging up the red dress. This is it for me."
Oh, wow.
I know. So it's quite emotional. A lot of things, a lot of big legends. But I wanted to ask you to sort of like, because Maddie did not watch Australia versus the World. I wonder, because we had this conversation last episode talking about Tony and Sandra. I know you're not too familiar with Parvati's game this season, but now if you add Parvati into the mix, where would we sort of rank, big Parvati fan out there, where would you sort of rank the 3 of their I don't know. Again, you don't really have the context of Australia versus the World, but I've been seeing people, a lot of the Sandra defenders online are like, Parvati, it was a shortened season. It was only 16 days.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that would change.
That's so tough. Like, that is a really hard question. Because my gut is to rank them. And I think I have a hard time ranking them based on like wins and more on the context of like how they've played the game. Their wins factoring into that, but also just like the way they've played. I would rank them just like as individual Survivor players, Parvati, Sandra, Tony. I think. Yeah. And that's not like I'm still a Sandra win defender and I'm a Sandra defender like fully, but I think I like maybe watching Parvati's game more sometimes and like what she brings to it. I think that's how I would rank it. But in terms of like wins, I like 2-time wins and maybe like your second win specifically, I would go, I think probably Sandra, Parv, Tony. Tony's on the bottom for sure. Right. The other 2 depends on the day.
Right. I think I'd agree with you. I think the context is important. A lot. Again, the main argument for a lot of the Sandra GOAT players is that, or Sandra GOAT defenders, is that Parvati played a shortened season, a smaller cast, blah, blah, blah. But I think that the caliber of player that was on Australia versus World is much higher than the caliber of player that was on Heroes versus Villains. Obviously, the Heroes versus Villains cast is iconic, but we did have a couple like filler people in there. There were 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait. There were 4 winners on the World Tribe out of the 7 people on the tribe. So more than half of the players on the World Tribe are winners, and then there were 1 winner maybe on. Yeah, there was only 1 winner on the Australia tribe. That's 5 out of 14 people. Like, that's more winners that were on Heroes versus Villains. Yeah. Everybody was like the World Tribe, everybody but Suri had made it. Sorry, I'm thinking. I'm trying to think of the numbers, but there's too many numbers. But anyway, it's a lot of high caliber players on this season. So I think even though it was a shortened season, smaller amount of people, Parvati beat a lot of like 10 out of 10 people. She had a hard cast, and it was shorter, so you're playing quicker. There's a lot less room for error, you know.
And I think it's impressive. I mean, how many years are between her first and second wins? Like, quite a few. So, yeah, I think I don't feel like it's my place to speak on it without having watched the season.
Right. I get
that. But
Tony's
last.
And clip that. I think in the broader scheme of that season, in my personal opinion, just to wrap up my thoughts, is that Australia versus the World was a huge success. The producers of that show did things that the U.S. producers should have done years ago. Getting Parvati and Suri back together on screen was such a great moment. Parvati played an exceptional game. The culmination of 20 years of Survivor. She arguably is, and I've never been a Parvati hater, but I've never been like her number one fan, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Like I've always been like, everything you've done is justified. Your clout, your whatever, your aura is justified. Like I get
Mount Rushmore spot secure.
Is justified. I've never been like anti-Parv, but I think it's hard to argue now that she's not the best Survivor player ever.
Yeah.
I think it's hard to be like, oh, this Tony or Sandra or whoever, Boston Rob. Like, I think it's hard to argue that Parvati is not the greatest of all time across the world. So good for her. I would love if they did another season. The format was good. I would love a longer season, even if it's like 20 days with 16 people. I think my biggest preference would be to have a larger cast, even if it was just 16. Because that feels more like a normal Survivor season, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like 16, and maybe 20 days. I'd love a longer season. I also was talking to shout out to my friend Austin. We were talking maybe like even if you did like an 18-person season, do like 6 Australian, 6 US, and 6 like the world contestants. Mm-hmm. So it feels a little bit more balanced, demographic wise, but it was a great show. I really hope it was talked about so much that I hope that they carry it on.
Yeah. I mean, it got a lot of sort of press and people talking about it, and people who couldn't even like easily watch it were talking about it.
Right. So yeah, that's wrap up thoughts on that. Do you want me to share my other thought, or do you we can go back and forth if you have like a TV thought, and then we can come back to me.
Sure. Okay. I'll go quick because mine is less like, well, my first reality TV thought is like less relevant, or like present day, whatever. I am so excited for the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City premiere next week. It comes out the day before Survivor, so on that Tuesday. And I'm just so excited. And I just need, not that like people don't watch Bravo. Like obviously people do. I think not enough people in my personal life watch it. I only have one friend who is like caught up with me and like watches the same franchises. But I just have to scream it from the rooftops. I need everyone to go back and start Real Housewives of New York City from the beginning. That show is so iconic and so much fun. I'm currently on, I think, season 7 of it, and it's just magic. Like, it feels pretty different from Salt Lake City. Like, I think when you're starting with people that were some of the first in the Housewives franchise at all, and then comparing it to people who are on like the newer franchises, like it's just a little bit different. But the magic of Rhodey, like you cannot beat it. The nostalgia from the early seasons, it's been fun watching them sort of like, I don't know, go through time, like, and watch just like their phones. Like they used to like have just like the most basic phones, and like now in these current seasons, like they have smartphones, and like it's just, I don't know, watching that transition has been really fun. And the people on it are just so crazy and so fun. And these cast trips, like, I could just rewatch them over and over again. Like, I would pay money to be able to erase my memories of watching Scary Island for the first time just so I could relive that, because it was so insane. And the people there are so crazy. And I'm having such a good time. I'm really trying to cherish old Roni before they did the big cast shakeup. And, like, I think it might have even been sort of canceled or, like, put on ice for a while because it was so bad. But old seasons, like with Countess Luann, Ramona Singer isn't a great person.
I was going to ask who are your sort of favorite on the lineup at this point.
Oh, my favorite is Carol Radziwill. She is so iconic. She's the most real of all of them, I would say. Like, she just does her own thing, being a single woman.
Look her up while you're talking.
In New York City. And she was a journalist before this. And she has a book that's on my TBR. I don't remember what it's called. Oh, okay. Her book is called What Remains, a memoir of fate, friendship, and love. And it has really good ratings. Like, she's an actually good author. And she's just so funny. So I love her. And Countess Luann. Those are probably my two favorites. I want to go see a Countess Luann cabaret show.
I was going to say, would you go see one of her shows?
I want to go so bad. Talking about another podcast that this was brought up, I was going through and watching old episodes of Las Culturistas after you sort of put me onto it. I don't remember who they were talking to, but they were talking about Luann's sort of cabaret shows. And someone was like, I'm going to put this as delicately as possible. Has she sort of improved her singing since the show? And they were like, I think Matt was like, well, no, but like, that's like part of it. She's just like leaning into it now, and it's so much fun. I just highly recommend. I also recommend anyone go watch Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Oh, these women are wild. And what's really fun about them is obviously there have been people that have come on the show, some people that have left the show, but the core people, other than the one that is currently serving a prison sentence, it is the same core group from season 1, which is really fun to be able to watch them as they've gone on. So
that's a crazy asterisk to put, except for the one who's currently serving time in prison.
Another thing I would pay money to erase from my memory so I could watch it again, watching Jen be arrested and all of the events surrounding that, being on the show, like watching these women, like the FBI coming on their bus and like learning about what was happening with Jen, like in real time on the show. That is just, you cannot like fake that. You can't replicate that. It is just, it's so real.
Got to be real. No, that's so real with my doppelganger, Caleb Heron. Do you have any other franchises that after like New York that you're like wanting to start? Like, what would sort of be your order of that?
I'm gonna watch Atlanta after I finish Roni.
Work.
Yeah, I'm really excited to sort of lock in there.
Are they both still airing? Is New York and Atlanta still airing?
I don't know. New York wrapped their last season, I want to say like earlier this year. I think I could be wrong about that because I wasn't watching it, but it is not going to have a next season for the foreseeable future. Everyone likes to tell Andy Cohen, get the OG cast back. Like, that is what they need. I'm pretty sure Luann would do it. Luann was on Bravo's sort of like dating show this past summer. I didn't watch it, but she's still active and stuff, and I know that like Ramona Singer would love any chance to be on TV again, respectfully, or Jill Zarin.
Do they all sort of air around the same? Like, do they all sort of start in the fall, or is it spread out through the year?
It's spread out. Like right now, I think it's OC is airing right now. One of the California ones is on, and then Salt Lake starts next week, and then they air sort of staggered throughout the year. And I'm so in love with it. I think I put off getting into it for a long time because it feels very overwhelming. There is so much content, so many franchises. But I think I would recommend anyone to start with Salt Lake. I think that's the easiest one to get into. Watch up to present day. Like, it's so fun. And then I recommend going back and watching, like, an older, sort of, like, more original season from back in the day. And yeah, that's my Housewives talk. I'm just so excited for the next season.
I'm excited for you. I'm excited the fall TV is starting to ramp up.
Oh, so much fall TV. Okay, do you want to talk about what you want to talk about next?
Guys, I should have worn black today. I need to talk about Rachel Riley. Do you know any of the tea that's what's been going on with Big Brother?
I've seen like a little bit on TikTok, but I don't have the context, so I didn't look into it further. But I've seen a lot of people talking about this.
Guys. Okay, sorry. I know sometimes Survivor fans can get really bad about, like, they're like, Big Brother's terrible, blah blah blah. I am a watcher. I would say I'm a super fan of Survivor. I am sort of just a regular. I would say I'm more than the average fan of Big Brother, but I'm not like super fan level of Big Brother. But I do like it. Rachel Riley, who winner, our Big Brother legend, honestly reality TV legend, has done like 3 seasons of The Amazing Race, made it to the finals twice, was on The Traitor season 1 for US. She's done so much reality TV. She got brought back on this season, Big Brother 27, as the one returning house guest. She was the only person to return. It was sort of like a twist that she came back playing with 16 other newbies, or 16 newbies. Rachel's been killing it. Rachel was eating the season up. Jury just happened 2 weeks ago, so she made Jury, which is iconic, especially because she is a winner. She has so many ops in the house, but she arguably, what she's been playing up until this point, playing the best game in the house. A lot of people, the conversation was, oh my god, is Rachel going to be our first 2-time winner of Big Brother? Like, that was where the conversation was heading going into the merge. People were like, she's playing an incredible game. People were saying that this is her best game she's ever played. This is her 3rd season of Big Brother. She won her 2nd season. People are saying it's just a 180 from her original time on Big Brother, where her first 2 seasons 12 and 13, she was like this character that we as America could laugh at. It's kind of, she was funny, she was kind of aloof, like people didn't understand, but she's a dominant physical player. Rachel has like a record amount of HOH, like competition wins. She's won so many competitions. But now, like, her on Big Brother 27, people are like, wow, she's playing this crazy social game. And her strategy, like, she's not backing down. And people are, like they're scared of her in, like, a good way. She's been able to save herself, save most, because asterisk to that, a couple of her close number ones have gone home. But she has this good circle around her. She was really building trust with a lot of people. She was building trust going into this last week with people who she'd been opposing sides with through the whole season, right? It looked like Rachel had the end game unlocked. That's sort of the context of everything. Mickey gets evicted, and then we go on a live feed cut. And nobody knows what's going on. You know, the big thing of Big Brother is it's live 24/7. It's not actually live 24/7. They go down a lot during the day. The live feeds are down for like over 24 hours, like 36 hours maybe. And people are trying to figure out what's going on. There's a lot of leakers. So there's specific sources you can follow on mostly X, mostly Twitter, that leak information and are pretty good sources of information. We're starting to hear from like journalists, from like reality TV journalists. People are like, oh, then like once the live feeds are coming back on, it's going to be crazy. Let's just say the audience is not going to be happy with what's happening. So people are starting to speculate. And the speculation for a while was that Rachel had something bad happen to Rachel. And then it was like floating around other house guests that the majority of the audience likes, like, oh, maybe it's Will, maybe it's Ashley, people who work with Rachel, surrounded by Rachel. And the feeds come back on, I think this was Monday, maybe Monday night, Tuesday. We find out Rachel Riley has not been evicted from Big Brother. She has been eliminated from Big Brother. There was no live feeds, no press, no social game, no talk with Julie. Rachel lost a challenge, and because she lost the challenge, she was eliminated from the game. There's more context to it, but there was like a safety chain involved, and so like the first person had like 5 minutes to complete. I'm boycotting the rest of the season. I'm not watching it. I'm not watching that.
Really?
Yes, because okay, the way that Rachel Riley went out is so un-Big Brother like, and Big Brother has had some shit twists the last couple for its whole history. Shit twists, things that people are mad about. I have never seen a reality TV fandom rally so hard. Reality TV fans, alumni, winners, press, celebrities that are watching the season are talking about how bad this twist is.
So
basically,
it was just like who lost the challenge was gonna go?
Yes, and so there was a safety chain involved. So like person A had 5 minutes, and then if they finished it, person B would go. But the later you went down the chain to complete the challenge, the less time you had to do it. Mm-hmm. And so ultimately you would want to go somewhere in the middle because or you would want to go somewhere near the start so you'd have the most possible time to do it. Yeah. Well, Rachel was like the 6th or 7th person that got picked to do it. And she apparently, the episode aired last night, and so people were talking about it. Apparently she had a lot of time to do the challenge, but she messed it up. He's mad about Rachel Riley getting eliminated. And so she gets eliminated, but Big Brother is a social game at its heart. Yeah. There are challenges, but it's not a challenge show. You don't get eliminated. You never get eliminated. The whole point of Big Brother is that you get put up on the block, and then you have a week to fight to survive. You have a literal real life week in the house. It's a week long cycle. And so it ends on Sunday, and a whole new week starts, and it's like a new person in power. You get put up on the block on Monday. There's the veto challenge on like Tuesday, Wednesday, and then you have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You have like 4 days to like fight and try to save yourself.
And she was just lost the challenge and out.
And was eliminated. And
that's crazy.
Yes, she was never nominated. Rachel was never, for the whole season, she was never once before this put on the block. Once. She never touched the block, which is crazy because her first 2 seasons, Rachel either won HOH. She won HOH 1 week. Week 2 was put on the block. Week 3 won HOH. Week 4 put on the block. It's just the best game she's ever played on this season. And so, unjustly eliminated. She never got to fight for herself. She had no chance of winning safety. She was just eliminated. And all of the storylines this season were, so not only from a lot of the argument from people who are they're like, oh, you guys wouldn't be mad if it wasn't Rachel. If it was like Kelly, she's kind of like the clown of the season. People are like, if it was Kelly, nobody would be mad. And we're like, no, this twist sucks for whoever got eliminated.
Because then, what was the point of even being on the show the rest of the time?
Exactly.
If you're just going to go out in a game.
Exactly. That's not what Big Brother's about. Big Brother is you have the chance to fight for yourself. Your social game, that's what it comes down to. Yes, you may lose a couple challenges, but you always have your social game to save yourself. That's always the at the end all. Yeah. You have the ability to strategize and try to socially save yourself. Yeah. Rachel did not have the opportunity. She was eliminated without a single vote cast against her. She never was on the block. She arguably was probably positioned the best in the house. There are other people, a lot more context to everything, but one of the best positioned in the house, one of the best positioned to win the game. Mm-hmm. And she's gone. And so from a twist standpoint, terrible twist. Whoever it would have gone, it would have been terrible. Even if the worst person that everybody hates was on the block, the audience hates. It would have been a terrible twist. But then from a production story point standpoint,
what are they supposed to do?
Rachel was the core of the whole season. Yeah. All of the major storylines. I'm foaming at the mouth. This is crazy. I'm gonna have white soda on my lips. Guys, I'm getting heated right now. Everything. The 2 major storylines was Rachel and Vince and Rachel and Keanu. Again, I know you have no context of who those people are. I don't know if the audience says they get it, but all the major storyline of the whole season, everything surrounds Rachel. Rachel being a winner, coming back, her fighting multiple of her number one allies going home, her having beef with multiple people in the house. Like, everything surrounds Rachel. And now, suddenly, your core for the whole season, the person who has been the best game player the whole season, is gone.
That's wild. That's so upsetting.
And now, how are they supposed to put the pieces back together? What story are they going to tell for the whole season? We have no closure. For the last 2 months, last month and a half, we've been watching Rachel Riley navigate the house and navigate these relationships, and we have no closure on any of these stories. So now we're left with nothing.
That sucks.
It sucks. It's a terrible twist. I know production was fighting for their life trying to figure out how they were gonna solve this issue. They didn't. A lot of the thing is people are assuming that the feeds were gone for so long. It's because production was trying to figure out how they were gonna go about like dealing with the blow up. People are like, I've never seen one reality TV fandom of the multiple I'm involved in. I've never seen a reality TV fandom get together like this to be like, production is wrong. So many of your own alumni and your winners, people who have spent years defending the show, are now like, this is undefendable. This is literally like fucked up what you did to her.
Yeah.
And it's just terrible.
Well, I stand with you guys, and I will also not be watching.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm not watching the rest of the season. I will get my updates through Twitter.
Yeah.
Even the players in the house the past couple of days have been like, this is so boring without Rachel. And players are talking shit about production in the house. They're like, they're like, is this the challenge? I didn't sign up to play the fucking challenge. I signed up to play Big Brother.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my rambling. That I just can't believe Rachel Riley is off that season. People, like, I legitimately thought she had a very... Even if she didn't... But
imagine, like, how interesting it would have been as you get to the end of,
that's what I'm saying.
Her fight to win.
That, and I'm like, even because she wasn't in a perfect position, right? There are people who would have put her on the block and would have wanted her out. But even then, if she went out that way, like, say in 2 weeks she would have been voted out the normal way, she would have gone out the normal way, you know? Like, at least she would have been put on the block and had the opportunity to play in the veto or opportunity to socially...
Play the game that she signed up to play.
Exactly. So that's my big one. Parvati winning, Rachel Riley going home. So devastated for her. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have any other? Sorry. Do you have another? Your normal TV thoughts.
Yes, I have two things. Yes. Well, one that I think we should definitely talk about. White Lotus season 4. I think I don't know if it's like official, but it's going to be in France.
I think it's official. I don't think they know where in France it's going to be.
Okay, well, there's different options. Specifically, they're staying with the 4 seasons thing.
Right.
One of them I think would be so interesting at a like ski resort chalet.
I would love a ski resort season.
I would love a ski resort season. I think that would be such a fun switch up from the normal sort of beachy tropical. However, the other one, I would say one of the other main ones that people are talking about is this one in the south of France, and it's really close to where I did my study abroad.
Whoa.
And I just like, as much as I want the ski one, I'm so rooting hard for a French Riviera White Lotus season.
So then you have like a better, you can be like, baby, been there, done that.
Been there, done that. It's just like such a beautiful spot. And like, I think it would be like, it would obviously have its similarities with Italy in a lot of ways, but just like the cliff sides there, just the vibes there would fit so perfect. I loved my time in the south of France more than anything. Like, I always say I would have a hard time going on another vacation to like some sort of warmer Europe climate and not going back there, because like I would live there if I could.
Right.
I think it would be so perfect for a White Lotus season.
I'm so excited for the White Lotus season 4. Wherever they go, I like the idea of doing it in France. I feel like I had brought up the idea of doing a French season to you. I feel like I can't remember.
I think we had talked about it before. But
let me look at my notes real quick. I can't find it. This idea, I think I talked, about doing it in Paris. I think I remember us talking about this.
Oh, I remember talking about Paris, yeah.
Yes, I was talking about doing it in Paris and then having like because it's always set around like you think like a sin, right? And so I was like, I feel like the one for Paris should be or for French should be gluttony.
Yes.
And that one of the main characters is a chef. And you can have some like Vietnamese inspiration because, I don't know, maybe they're like a Vietnamese chef. I don't know. But I was like, I feel like that would be iconic, is to do like a gluttony type season.
I agree. I think, first of all, totally agree. I think that would be so fun. I also think if they were to do a French Riviera thing, I think you could really tie in like sort of like the creepy gambling of Monaco and all of that as well, and the wealth there.
That would be so. And then because the people of Monaco aren't allowed to gamble there.
Yeah, it's like the hotel that people are speculating about is about 30 minutes from Monaco.
That would be really sickening. And then maybe you have some sort of like Monaco local that like knows the tea. I don't know. Like that would be really cool.
Maybe like some sort of like mobby stuff.
Yes.
I just think that they could lean so far in. I think Monaco is such an interesting place. Like the school that I was at, we could walk to Monaco. It was like 15 minutes walking distance. And so we spent a lot of time there, and it is such like an eerie place. Like the wealthy parts are obviously like the most lavish, insane place maybe I've ever been. But then the sort of like streets and like buildings surrounding it and like the apartment areas, like they were always completely dead. Like there was never anything there. But then you get into Monaco and it's like the hustle and bustle of Monaco, like the most wild mall I've ever been to. Like the stores there were unbelievable. Like everything about it is just wealth. It was so cool walking around it. But like I think you could do something cool with like the locals that live there and like in the surrounding areas, and then like around Nice. The hotel's like in between. It's closer to Nice than it is Monaco, but it's still like in that area. And I just think you could do so much cool stuff there. So I'm really rallying. I'm hoping with all my hope that that's where it is, because that would be so cool.
Do you have a person, like an actor or actress that you'd like to see on The White Lotus season 4?
That is such a good question.
I have one.
Oh. Okay, wait, you share yours.
You know Christine Baranski? She was on, I think most notably for Our Generation. Oh, she was in Mamma Mia. She's one of the like older girls.
Oh, yes. And
she was in The Grinch.
Yes.
Martha.
Martha May.
Lou?
Bouvier?
Oh, yes, Bouvier. No. Yes?
Who
Martha May. Something
May.
like that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Whovier,
I need to see her on The White Lotus in a way that and she's a singer. She's a Broadway person. And so I think that maybe she's some sort of entertainer, or maybe she's just like a old lady on her, I don't know, maybe she's looking for a man. She has such an iconic
look.
I know, and the way she talks and the way she speaks, it's just so I love her. She's one of the lawyers in The Good Wife, which is a show that it's just like it's a show that I've been watching. Her character Diane is so fun in that show. Well, not fun. She's just like strong, and I just love her. I love her acting. I would love to see her on The White Lotus.
That is so fun. Okay, let me think.
I think another person I'd like to see is Benson Boone.
Right. I'm trying to think of like shows that I'm watching. Okay, I'll say one that ties into the second thing I wanted to talk about. How about that?
I know what you're about to say.
Say it.
Go ahead. Does it have something to do with the only murders in the building?
Yes, I was gonna say any of them. I think Selena Gomez would be so much fun. Or Steve Martin.
Right.
I like Martin Short, but I like Steve Martin more. But honestly, I think Martin Short would be really good in it too. I take that back. I'm actually going to cut that out. I think I would love Martin Short or Steve Martin.
Actually,
or both of them together.
Both of them together.
Yeah.
You see their commercials that they do together?
Yeah.
The bank commercials? Oh.
They're so cute. I would love... Ooh, another one. I would love to see Dakota Johnson.
Okay.
I think
Actually, Ellen, that's not the truth.
I have gained so much respect for her after watching her on Amy Poehler's podcast. And I think she would eat.
Oh my god, if we're getting people who have been featured on Amy Poehler's podcast on White Lotus, give me Judge Judy. You didn't fuck with that episode?
She does a mouth clicky thing. Yes. She needs to drink more water.
I think she's just like old.
I know, but right into the mic. I started listening and I was really enjoying it, but I couldn't. It's just it's a me thing.
I really did like that episode, and I loved at the end of the episode, Judge Judy. You didn't finish it.
No, that's the one episode of the entire podcast I've not listened to.
She was like, Judge Judy was very ready to. Judy was very ready to wrap it up, and Amy was like, "One more question." And she was like, "Nah."
That's awesome.
And Amy was like, "Okay, Judy's ready to wrap up. We're wrapping up."
Oh, okay. I'm just looking through. Talking about more media. Zarna Garg was on Amy Poehler's podcast recently. She's a comedian. She opened for Tina and Amy on their tour. That was maybe the funniest episode I've ever listened to. I think she would be hilarious in The White Lotus. She would be such a good character on there.
I'll have to watch that episode. I didn't watch that episode.
She was so funny. Oh, Rashida Jones.
Oh,
she would be so good.
Rita, girl, we're just going down the Parks and Rec timeline. Give me Rita on.
Yes.
Get Rita on. Give me a drag queen on The White Lotus. Give me a.
Oh, Katya would be so spooky. She could do something crazy on there.
Give me a drag queen on The White Lotus. A French drag queen. French Drag Race is really popping off. They just had their All-Star season.
Yeah.
You could pull some great queens. Nikki Doll, the host. You remember her from Drag Race season 12. Get her on.
Well, I'm sure Mike White is listening, sort of Survivor community. Right. He listens to our podcast for sure. If you are interested in taking any of these suggestions for a future season, please go ahead. Just give us the credit.
Yeah, just give us the credit. And if you want to send us, I don't know, $2 million each.
Yeah.
I know that's pocket change for you.
Rumored billionaire Mike White.
Not rumored billionaire. I can't wait for Survivor 49.
I'm so excited. Oh, yeah, my last thing.
Oh, yes.
Everyone go watch Only Murders in the Building. Last night, as of the day we're recording this, or yesterday, the first 3 episodes for the season dropped. It was so good. Actually, it gets into the sort of gambling casino thing. And within New York, old New York, I just love that show. I've been the biggest fan literally since it came out. I have watched every single fall and I just love it.
You've been trying to get me in that show, and I do need to sit down and watch it. We watched the first couple episodes of season 1 when you lived on campus.
Yes.
I do remember falling asleep at one point. Oh,
you gotta watch. You gotta lock in.
I do have to watch. Hey, lock in, boys.
Lock in.
Do you have any other thoughts about television?
Oh, I mean, we could talk forever about television.
So true, we could. Maybe we make this like a bi-weekly. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Maybe like a once a month thing.
Once a month, recap of our TV ventures.
Yeah.
Maddie and I watch a lot of TV.
I love TV.
Maybe we can make it like a media. Maybe we bring in the books. Maybe we bring in the music. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I mean, at the heart, we are a TV podcast. We're a Survivor podcast, after all.
We could do a book club. You and I read the same book, and then at the end of the month,
what we'd have to figure out, where. I feel like we have very different taste in books. Not very different.
But I think that could be fun. Like, it would get me out of my comfort zone. Like, maybe I read a sad book, and then maybe you read like a less sad book. And then at the end of the month, we could talk about it.
Drag me. Okay, well, that's going to wrap up our thoughts here today. This went in a little long. Maddie and I just are chatty Cathy's.
We could talk forever about any topic.
So true. Give us a topic and we can go in. Thank you all for watching. Again, join us next week here. We'll resume our normally scheduled Survivor content with our cast assessment of Survivor 49 next week. So please, please, please make sure to join us for that. Join us for our whole Survivor 49 coverage. We're so excited. We're on the road to Survivor 50. It's going to be so fun. Cerie Field said in an interview that from a contestant standpoint and from a player standpoint, she thinks Survivor 50 is the best season she's ever been involved in.
Whoa, that's some big...
Oh my god, I didn't even talk about Parvati. Sorry, real quick. She's starting her own reality TV show. It got picked up by a network. She's been putting it together with one of the co-producers of Deal or No Deal Island, one of Parvati's good friends. Mm-hmm. They together have developed a new social strategy show, and it has been picked up by a network, and it is officially in the works.
Oh my god, maybe we'll have to have her on the pod to talk about it.
I know, friend of the pod. We'll reach out, connect. I mean, I know she really needs us to platform her.
Yeah, not enough people are supporting her, frankly.
Thank you all for watching. Join us for Survivor 49 coverage. You can comment, like, subscribe here on YouTube. You can follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Making Fire Pod, and we will see you next week with our 49 cast assessment
and our winner picks.
I know, GAG. I don't know. I literally cannot top last season. I can only go down from here.
Yeah, that was crazy.
We will see you all next week.
Bye.
Bye, smooches.